This was definitely one of those questions that I used to ask when I was a Christian, and many could not answer, or their answer was subpar. So, what am I talking about? If Lucifer was a good angel at one time, what was the opposing force that persuaded him? That's a great question if you think about it. And I'm going to get to the end, but let me go ahead and tell you what the answer is. It is that in all creation, there is duality. You cannot have good without evil. So there can be no time or space where there is the existence of good and there is not the existence of evil. They both exist on the same pole because they're the same thing. But in this biblical story, we don't have that. We don't get that. We're told that sin entered the world through Adam and Eve. And you can separate that and say that sin entered the world through Adam and Eve, that the earth was made perfect and then sin entered the world because of Adam and Eve. But that spirit of disobedience had to already been on the planet in order for them to even have a spirit of disobedience, for all my Christians who are going to go that route. But understand, in order for that spirit to happen, it already had to be on here. Whether you say that that spirit was embodied by the serpent or not, but the serpent was here on earth, already a spirit of disobedience to what the God wanted for this couple, Adam and Eve. So, did they bring it, or did they make it known to man about this spirit of disobedience? Now, as far as your case with Lucifer, most of your ideas about this war in heaven, from a biblical standpoint, comes from the book of Enoch, to which is not in your book. But it's referenced multiple times throughout other portions of the Bible. So they are referencing Enoch, but Enoch is not good enough for your book. Seems kind of odd, right? A book is good enough to be referenced as the word of God. But that same book is not the word of God. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Now, if there is a war in heaven, if there was a force that could allow for this angel, who was supposed to be one of the most beautiful angels, but for Samael, I think it's Samael, I'm not sure what angel it is, but I think it's Samael. It's definitely not Lucifer, the serpent, or the devil, or the Satan. It's not none of those. Those were later joined together to form one entity. But I believe it's Samael. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this angel, beautiful angel of the Lord, of God, decided that it wanted to be greater than God, that it could do a better job. So it rebelled and got a third of the other angels to join him in this rebellion. Well, whether they're in the first heaven or the second heaven, as some Christians are going to come on here and say there are multiple levels of heaven, the fact still remains that there was an evil force that was already at play before the creation of the earth. And if this deity, seeing that there was an evil force at every level of heaven, thought that it could create a perfect earth on a lower plane and there not be any evil, to me shows how naive this deity is. It actually will fall into the line of what the Gnostics say. Some of the Gnostics had a teaching that there was, for lack of a better term, the all. I can't think of the name of it right now, but there was this primordial all. The all then created the Sophia. And with the Sophia, they were still creating imperfection of a balance between masculine and feminine. And then they created the demiurge. Now, this demiurge then decided it wanted to create on its own without the Sophia. without the primordial energy, because the primordial energy was too busy doing other things. So the demiurge and the Sophia were supposed to create together, but the demiurge created on his own, and the demiurge messed everything up. And then that is the God of the Old Testament. And then Jesus was a additional creation in order to fix everything the demiurge messed up. But how would a God think that it could create on a lower level and have no evil, on a lower vibrational plane and have no evil, when on a higher vibrational plane there was evil? Now, if this God had evil around it, then that means that this God lives in duality, that there is no separation between good and evil, that they exist both on the same plane. And it just depends upon where you're vibrating on the plane. You could say the original primordial is vibrating at a high level of good. The Sophia is a little bit less. The demiurge is a little bit less. The angels are a little bit less. The humans are a little bit less. And everything else becomes a little bit less on the vibrational pole. And the goal is to everybody get to the right, get to the higher vibration. But what do you guys, what do you guys think? What could have possibly existed in heaven to allow for there to be for a revolt in heaven? Y'all have a great day. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is not negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.